Today we're looking at unit circle classwork. I'm going to go over these notes with you. Okay, so I need you to make sure to have these out. We are looking right now at using this drawing above. So this drawing has A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and we're going to use this information to answer these questions below. Okay. So first, we are going to give the exact numerical value of g squared plus h squared. Luckily, the answer to this, g squared plus h squared, is going to equal 1, because 1 squared is 1, and the equation for a circle is g squared plus h squared equals 1. Given one equation with two variables whose solutions are all the points on the circle in the illustration above, it's the same thing. We could say g squared plus h squared equals 1 squared, or we could say a squared plus b squared equals 1. Same thing. By referring to the illustration above, give the letter that best matches each of the following. Negative 380. Okay, so we know how many degrees are there in a circle, guys? 360. Okay, so if we go 380 minus 360, we get approximately 20 degrees. So if we're looking, we want to go negative 20, so we want, instead of going counterclockwise, we go clockwise. We're right at G, and the sign is the Y value, so we're at H. Cosine of 130, we're right here. The cosine is the X value, so that's how I'm getting C. Okay. Negative 105. So we want to go 105, so we're right here at F, because that's the sine value is the Y value. Negative 230. We're right here at CD, and we want to do the C because it's a cosine. 700 minus 360 gives me 340. So I want to go all the way around to 340. So I'm at the Y value, so I'm right there at H. Yep, sorry. And the cosine is 255. We're right here at EF, so we're at the E value. Okay, so it's just kind of giving you an idea of where those points are on the graph. And remembering that sine is the Y value and cosine is the X value. Okay, we're going to locate the point where given the value would fall on the unit circle and draw the right triangle. Okay, so we know that a 60 degree would be right there. And if we look at our unit circle, which we should all have out to be able to do this, we look at 60 degrees, and the Y value at 60 degrees is square root 3 over 2. Sorry. 120 would be right here. Okay, that's 120 degrees. And so the cosine is the X value, so that would be negative 1/2. Is everybody getting where I'm getting these from? You got your unit circle in front of you? Okay, let's turn it over and look at the notes in the back. Okay. We're doing the cosine of 135. I know that's going to be over here. The cosine is the X value. Please don't talk while I'm talking. So that's negative square root 2 over 2. Okay. Cosine is the X value, so that's how I'm getting negative square root 2 over 2. Okay. All right, so then I am going to look at 270. 270 is right here. Okay, so I want the Y value for that because it's asking for sine, so that's how I got negative 1. How are we doing with this? Does this make sense where I'm getting this information from? Okay, so you have your unit circle in front of you, right? Because you cannot do this without your unit circle. So that is the most important part, is that you have that out. Okay. E, 315 is right here. Okay, I want the Y value for 315, so that's negative square root 2 over 2. So all of these are going to be either 0, 1, square root 2 over 2, 1/2, or square root 3 over 2. And then it just matters if they're positive or negative. So there's only 5 options for these. Cosine is 90, so I go to 90, and the x value at 90 is what, guys? So looking at your unit circle. 0, good. Okay. We want the cosine of 210, so you guys tell me. Go to 210, what's the cosine there? Cosine at 210. Negative square root 3 over 2. What's the sine or the y value at 240, guys? Yep. Should be negative. Negative square root 3 over 2 because it's the y value. I'm sorry, whoever music is playing right now should be turned off. You should be doing this with me right now. Okay, I'm not talking to you. All right. I know. Okay. Now this is a harder one. We're looking at negative 30. So we need to start thinking about the negatives. So if I look at my unit circle, right here, this first one, this is 330, but it's also negative 30 degrees right here. That's negative 30. Okay? So I should be able to work backwards. And negative 30, the sine of negative 30 or the y value is negative 1/2. Okay? Cosine of 225. Can anybody tell me what the cosine is of 225? Look at your unit circle, go to 225. Cosine is the x or y? X. And what's the x value at 225? Negative square root 2 over 2. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to do this classwork in class today. It's a little bit harder because it changes slightly because instead of 1, 0, this is 4, 0. So we're just going to do the first one together, and then you'll do the rest. This says 30 degrees over here. Well, that's not really 30 degrees, right? That's 150 degrees. Okay? And so I am looking at a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which we've had homework on. And the hypotenuse of this is now 4 instead of 1. I want to know what the x and y value is for this, what the x and y value is. Okay, if the hypotenuse is 4, it's twice as big as the smallest side, so we know the smallest side is 2. And I know that this middle side right here is 2 square root 3, right? So my answer for this point should be x is 2 square root 3. Y is 2. So you have to do that for everyone, and look how they change their size. This hypotenuse was 4, but this one is 20, this one is 10, and this one is 8. And you have to figure out where it is on the unit circle. Okay? All right. So, and your homework for tonight, we're going to do one of these problems because they're harder. Okay? So, this is something you might want to write at the bottom of your unit circle. Tangent is the y value over the x, or it is sine over cosine. So, we can have a different possibilities here. If you have square root 2 over 2 divided by square root 2 over 2, that gives you 1. If you have square root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, that ends up giving you square root 3. And finally, if you have 1/2 over square root 3 over 2, and we're writing this on our paper, so you guys don't have to do this algebra each time, or this arithmetic part. We get 2 over the square root of 3. That gives us 1 over the square root of 3. Can't have a square root of 3 on the bottom, so we multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 3. And we get square root 3 over 3 as our answer. So there are 3 possibilities. Oh, and if you get 1 over 0, you get what? Undefined. But if you get 0 over 1, that's 0. So those are our possibilities. So let's try 1 or 2 for your homework for tonight, so you can do this on your own. We want the tan of 30. So 30 is square root 3 over 2 and 1/2, so we put the y on top, 1/2 over square root 3 over 2, and you look at the bottom of your paper, and that should be square root 3 over 3 is your answer. Okay? So we're working just like that. We're going to figure out all of these for tangent. So this is your homework for tonight. Okay, so in class, before the end of the hour, you need to complete this one, and then this is your homework for tonight. You need your unit circle for all of these, so please
My bad. I started with my water bottle because it broke.
do not lose any of those.